Part 1. I'm probably going to do it section by section. I don't like doing the full 15 minutes. I don't like doing 10-minute movies. It's hard to keep people's attention in that span. I'm going to do it, like I said, section by section. And it will be three videos. This is what the Esquire came up with those gentlemen. These are the spending proposals. Today we're going to start off with Social Security. Gradually raise the retirement age to 70. Currently, the retirement age is 66. And starting in 2021, it is scheduled to gradually increase to 67 at a rate of 2 months a year. As Americans today are living and working longer than in previous generations, the Commission proposes to instead begin gradually increasing the retirement age to 70 before 2021, but at a rate of 1 month per year. Yeah, grown. Furthermore, in consideration of those Americans who work or have worked manual labor intensive jobs and would therefore find working past 67 an undue burden, the Commission proposes that eligibility requirements for disability be narrowly liberalized beginning at age 67. The projected savings, $49 billion. We got to do something, folks. Use an alternate measure of inflation to calculate cost of living adjustments for Social Security recipients. Every year, Social Security recipients receive a cost of living adjustment, COLA, so benefits keep pace with inflation. And many analysts believe that the current index used to calculate COLAs for urban wage earners and clerical workers, the CPIW, overstates inflation because it does not fully account for changes in patterns of spending. The Commission proposes to calculate COLA using an alternative price index, the Chained Consumer Price Index for all urban consumers. It is generally viewed as doing a better job at measuring inflation for retired people than the CPIW, because the CPIU is calculated using a broader base of consumers, not just urban wage earners and clerical workers, but all urban consumers, including retired people, and more closely reflects changes in the cost of living, as the CPIW is expected to overstate inflation in the years ahead. Switching to the CPIU will save money. Projected savings, $23 billion. Increase years used to calculate benefits. Currently, Social Security recipients' benefits are calculated based on their 35 highest years of earnings. The Commission proposes to increase the number of years to 38 to reflect the longer amounts of time that most people are working today. Projected savings, $14 billion. Total, we got total projected savings in Social Security of $86 billion alone. Now, as you all know, Social Security is going bankrupt anyways. Okay, so we slow it down a little bit. Maybe with some of these other measures that will be coming up, we can still salvage it. And there's an addendum to this. These adjustments not only decrease the annual deficit by $86 billion in the fiscal year 2020, along with a proposal to include all new state and local government workers in the Social Security program, They also ensure the solvency of Social Security for at least the next 75 years. At current spending levels, Social Security is projected to become insolvent by 2037. I think that's really giving it a lot. At which point it would be able to pay recipients only 78% of their expected benefits. The Commission's proposals would guarantee recipients 100% of their expected benefits through at least 2085. While I'm at it, I'm looking at this again, and it's going to be more than 2 because the revenue proposals really outweigh. So this is going to be, we're going to do defense. Enact the administration's proposed weapons systems cuts. The Commission endorses the weapons system cuts the President proposes in his 2011 budget. The C-17 transport aircraft, Joint Strike Fighter alternate engine, Navy's Next Generation Cruiser, EPX manned airborne intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance aircraft, net-enabled command capability, and third-generation infrared surveillance programs would all be canceled. Projected savings there, $4 billion. Reverse the GROW, the Army initiative. The Commission proposes to reverse the Army's Grow the Army initiative, which plans to add 65,000 active personnel, increasing from 482,400 to 447,400, and 9,200 reservists, increasing from 555,000 to 564,200 in the Army's ranks by 2011. Projected savings, $10 billion. Restructuring the military along strategic lines. The Commission believes that the U.S. defense establishment must be fundamentally reorganized to meet the challenge of the 21st century. The number of nation-state wars for which our military is configured is going down, while the number of irregular and unconventional wars is going up, and yet the military is still procuring and paying for Cold War-based defense system. To better meet these new challenges requires a shift on how the military allocates its resources, and the Commission estimates that this shift will result in a decrease in overall defense spending. This restructured military budget would equal 2.2% of GDP in 2020, as compared with the current budget projection, which has it at 3.6% of the gross domestic product in 2020. Projected savings, $169 billion. I can cut even a little more off of that, bring our troops home. Assumed cost of engagement in Afghanistan and Iraq will decline. The Commission assumes that the cost of U.S. engagement in Afghanistan and Iraq will decrease significantly by 2020. Damn well better. The below figure is based on a projected estimate of 30,000 combined troops in both countries. Projected savings, $126 billion. Total projected savings in defense, $309 billion. Healthcare. Institute medical malpractice reform through the establishment of medical courts. Let's see. The proposal would establish medical courts similar to bankruptcy courts, in which verdicts are made by judges trained to evaluate scientific evidence. As an alternative to the current trial by jury system for medical malpractice lawsuits, this proposal would decrease the number of frivolous lawsuits that reach trial, increase the speed in which meritorious lawsuits reach trial, and reduce administrative costs to the federal judiciary. It would also discourage the practice of defensive medicine, whereby health care providers, under the constant threat of litigation, often order unnecessary and costly tests and procedures to hedge against potential lawsuits. Projected savings there, $10 billion. An addendum to this: the Commission believes it unlikely the Congress and the President will substantially modify the recently enacted health care legislation. The Commission also strongly advocates a transition from our current fee-for-service system, in which health care providers stand to profit from each test, procedure, and office visit, to pay-for-performance systems, in which health care providers are compensated for the medical outcomes of dollars spent, thereby improving the quality and efficiency of care provided. The Commission believes such a transition would fundamentally alter the dynamics of our health care system and save consumers, health care providers, and the federal government billions of dollars each year. We're going to call it quits on this one right there. Something to think about. Peace out.